The galactic trade station hummed with the constant chatter of 1,000 different species, their translators creating a symphony of overlapping conversations. Kanat adjusted his human standard uniform and tried to look like he belonged among the towering Velkari merchants and the scuttling insectoid diplomats. 3 months into his assignment as a junior cultural liaison, and he still felt like a child wandering through a zoo. That's when he saw her. The alien warrior stood nearly 7 feet tall, her obsidian black scales catching the station's artificial light like polished armor. Her tail, thick and powerful, swayed behind her with predatory grace as she examined weapons at a Thracian arms dealer's stall. Kanat had studied the species' files extensively. She was Drakthani, one of the galaxy's most feared warrior races. But what struck him wasn't her obvious lethality. It was the intricate silver patterns that traced along her tail, flowing like liquid mercury across the dark scales. In his cultural studies, he'd learned that Drakthani considered their tail markings to be deeply personal, artistic expressions of their lineage and achievements. Before his brain could stop his mouth, the words tumbled out. "Nice tail." The massive alien warrior turned slowly, her amber eyes fixing on him with laser intensity. The weapons dealer suddenly found urgent business elsewhere, leaving Kanat alone with what he was certain would be his death. "What did you just say, little human?" Her voice was like gravel rolling down a mountainside. Kanat's throat went dry. I said nice tail. The silver patterns are beautiful. They tell a story of honor and—" Her head tilted, and something that might have been surprise flickered across her reptilian features. "You can read tail script?" "Basic patterns, yes. I'm a cultural liaison, so I studied—" "My name is Malus Sektar, daughter of the Stormfang clan." She stepped closer, and Kanat had to crane his neck to meet her gaze. "And you, small human, have just paid me the highest compliment possible in my culture." "Oh," Kanat squeaked. "That's good?" What he thought was a smile crossed her face, revealing rows of sharp teeth. "Very good. What is your name, brave little human?" Kanat Morrison, and I'm not that little." Malice's laugh was like controlled thunder. "We shall see about that." The next morning, Kanat arrived at his office to find a still warm breakfast waiting on his desk. The packaging bore Drakthani script, and the food inside was clearly prepared according to human dietary needs, something that would have required considerable research. "Delivery for Kanat Morrison," said his assistant, trying to hide a smirk. From an admirer, apparently. Throughout the day, Kanat caught glimpses of Malice around the station. She seemed to always be nearby when he was conducting meetings, her imposing presence making even the most arrogant alien diplomat suddenly respectful toward him. When a group of Venusian smugglers tried to intimidate him during negotiations, Malice materialized behind them like a shadow of death. The smugglers found other business immediately. By the 3rd day, the pattern was unmistakable. Malice was courting him. "This is insane," Kanat muttered to himself as he found another gift outside his quarters. This time a beautifully crafted blade with his name etched in both human and Drakthani script. "What's insane?" Malice's voice came from behind him, and Kanat jumped. She moved with impossible silence for something so large. "Do this." He gestured helplessly at the weapon. "I complimented your tail once, and now you're following me around like a warrior courting a potential mate," she finished calmly. "Yes," Kanat stared at her. "We're different species, so? Your species and mine are genetically compatible for companionship, if not reproduction. I researched this thoroughly." "You researched—" Kanat rubbed his temples. "Malice, you're a legendary warrior. I've heard other aliens talking about you. You've conquered whole star systems." 3 star systems, she corrected with pride. "And I did so to earn the right to choose my own mate rather than accept the weaklings my clan selected. But why me? I'm just a translator who got lucky with a cultural reference." Molly stepped closer, and Kanat could smell the ozone scent that clung to her scales. "Do you know what most beings see when they look at my tail markings? The story of your victories? They see nothing. They look away in fear, or they see only a weapon to be avoided." Her amber eyes softened slightly. "You saw art, you saw beauty. You saw something worth commenting on when you could have simply stayed silent and safe." Kanat felt his cheeks burn. "It was just courage," she interrupted. "In my culture, there is no greater aphrodisiac than fearless honesty." "Fearless?" "I was terrified." "Yes, but you spoke anyway. That is what true courage is, small human. For several moments they stood in the corridor of the station, the bustle of galactic commerce flowing around them like water around stones. Okay, Kanat said finally. Let's say I was interested, hypothetically. Malice's smile could have powered a small spacecraft. Hypothetically? What would Drakathani courting involve? Because I should probably know if I'm going to survive it. Combat trials mostly, tests of strength and endurance, ritual scarring. Kanat paled. Maybe we could start with dinner instead. Her laugh echoed through the corridor, causing several passing aliens to scramble for cover. I would like that very much, brave little Kanat, but I choose the restaurant. As she walked away, her tail swishing with what Kanat was beginning to recognize as amusement, he realized that his simple cultural observation had changed everything. In a galaxy where humans were often dismissed as weak and irrelevant, he had somehow managed to impress one of its most formidable warriors. Nice tail, he whispered to himself, shaking his head in disbelief. From down the corridor came Malice's voice. I heard that. Maybe being the smallest, weakest species in the galaxy wasn't so bad after all. Sometimes the greatest victories came not from strength, but from simply having the courage to appreciate beauty when you saw it, even when it belonged to a 7-foot-tall alien warrior who could snap you like a twig. Especially then.